Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean here, and yeah, kind of coming in with the microphone now because I want my voice to project and all of that. I want it to sound good, so don't mind the the weird microphone placement or whatever. But anyway. I missed last Thursday, but I'm still here. I'm here for this week, so let's see how that goes. I've had a pretty interesting week this week. Basically, Wednesday, I got to go with my girlfriend and her mom to her wheelchair evaluation so she can get molded and stuff and sized and measured for her new wheelchair, which is a long time coming because her new chair is not fitting her properly and she keeps sliding off, and her legs keep coming off the pedals and stuff. So we met with the guy at the rehabilitation center, and he was amazing. I learned a lot of things about my girlfriend and how the process goes, and I learned about physical therapy and stuff, and I want to sit in with her to go with those in the future. But it was amazing. It was great. Me and her mom was really cool. Her mom really liked me, and that's all you can ask for, right? That's all you can ask for. Is the mom likes you good. But it was great. And afterwards we went to the mall, shopped a little bit. I got this hat which has her name on the side, right here. I have her name on the side with a little heart, so this is my favorite hat that I'm gonna wear everywhere because this is I got a little piece of her with me everywhere I go, so that was really good. But and then Thursday I finally had my appointment for my autism evaluation, and I booked this appointment back in a couple of months ago, and it was something that I've always wondered about myself, and finally going to a specialist, a psychiatrist, a specialist and a therapist that specializes in autism, especially autism diagnosis in adults as well as kids. And it was a very interesting day. And it's funny because the reason why I even booked the appointment in the first place. After all these years, I'm 31 years old. Why are you wondering about autism? And I think that it just comes from the fact that I watched the YouTube video. I have to find the video again and link it into the description. But it was this black woman talking about growing up with autism and even being an adult as autism. And as she's talking about her life, I'm like, bro, this is me. Why do you have my exact life? So I started wondering shit, and not only that, but my girlfriend would point out some things, and I'd be like, oh, I didn't know I was doing that and everything. So it's I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see something. You know what I mean? And so I went there for the first evaluation. And we did an assessment. We did a lot of talking about my background, my childhood, and doing a little assessments and stuff like that, and tests. And as we were going along, she's like, you do have some qualities of ASD, and because they test for both autism and ADHD, and she's like, I can rule out ADHD, but you definitely I think you may be you may be on that spectrum of ASD. So it was a great appointment. It was 3 hours, very taxing on my mind, but it was great. The woman that was doing my assessment was very, very cool. And she let me there was this moment in the assessment where I was talking to her about like, yeah, I used to have STEM toys that really like it really like helped me. And because like for me, like I always have to do something with my hands. I've always been like that, and I had some STEM toys, but I stopped because when I used to go to work, I used to work at this call center, and people would be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, are you slow? Are you they'll look at me weird. So I kind of like stopped bringing it. But she told me like, oh yeah, that's like a form of masking. Adults with autism, especially ones who grew up not knowing about their diagnosis, we learn habits on how to kind of interact with the world, especially when those places like work and school and stuff are not accommodating for us. So she was like, hey, look, see that box right there in the corner? I'm like, yeah. Knock yourself out. There's a bunch of STEM toys. You can play with it during the rest of our session. And I'm like, really? Like, really? You dead ass right now? And I go through all the toys, and I pick the cube and like the little joystick thing where because I love like rubber for some reason. I love the texture of rubber and stuff. So like I was playing with that, and it was like it was so calming. But also I think she noticed that I was playing with my bracelet, the bracelet that my girlfriend got for me. Her mom had it and gave it, like, you can have it, and I was playing with that the entire time while I was talking to her. And she's like, yeah, go play with the toys, you're fine. And she was like, don't let other people stop you from using what you can, using those toys, like they help you. And I was like, yeah, you're right. She's like, don't give a fuck about those people. And she's right. And I miss my STEM toys. I see it over there, and I want to grab it. I want to grab it so bad, but I found it because I didn't have it, and then I found it, and it's over there, and I want to touch it. But actually, give me a second. I love this so much. And she had one in green and white. I have one in like blue and pink or whatever, but this is like my calm thing. But I promise I won't play with it too much because I don't want the sound to annoy you in the video. But I'll be doing it on the side where you can't see my hands. But this is my lifesaver. I love this. But I had another one that I really, really love because it had like a joystick, and I love joysticks because they have that rubber thing. And like I mentioned before in my last video, I love playing with my girlfriend's joystick on her wheelchair. Like, she lets me play with it. But like, it had like a little joystick. I don't know where it's at, but I'll buy another one. But anyways, yeah, but like I've always had an interesting childhood. I've always felt like I was the weird black girl, or the weird, little black girl that like, and I think a lot of people, and I told her this, I think a lot of people like kind of like, I don't know, they kind of took my behavior as just shyness. So she's just shy. She's just a little shy and stuff. She's not looking you in the eye because she's shy. She's just on her own. She just wants to play. Like, the fact that I've always wanted to have, like, when it came to like social interacting, I always wanted to do my own thing instead of interact with other kids. And me just going through like sensory stuff, like lights and stuff. Like, even right now, like the lights, for the sake of the video, I'm holding it on, but this ring light does annoy the fuck out of me. Like, I love low light, and I love darkness. I'm very sensitive to like, I don't sounds, and I always have headphones in my ear. But like, even as a little kid, like I used to hate the lights at school, but like when nap time came around and the lights were down, I was like, yes, this is great. But like, I just feel like I always had to adjust, because no one ever sat me down and be like, okay, you have autism, or you are on the spectrum and somewhat. But I think, I don't know, my parents, if you watch my previous videos, like like my parents aren't really mental. We didn't talk about mental health in our childhood. We didn't talk about that kind of stuff. We just talked about God, Jesus, and all that, and that was it. And and I always suspected that my mom has ASD as well. So I don't know if we'll ever figure that out, because my mom doesn't to therapists. She doesn't talk to all of that. She's just like whatever. But my mom grew up in the 80s. Especially being a black woman, I think, if I remember correctly, there's a study that said that black women are very underdiagnosed when it comes to autism. So, I don't know if me and my mom just like fell through the cracks, but it's great to know that like I'm going through this and I can have my actual proper diagnosis. I can finally like understand why the fuck I am the way I am. But it's an interesting journey. So like we'll see how it goes. But hopefully everything is okay, and I can process this in the best way that I can. So so calming. Another topic that I wanted to touch on, that people have asked me, and I guess I'm still trying to have a concrete answer to it, but basically the question is, how do I feel about transgender and all of that now that I'm detransitioned? And in my opinion, I just feel like while I was in that space, and I come from that. I mean, 10 years, I transitioned 10 years. And even before that, I was like 14, 15, 16 in these, forums and like blogs and Facebook at the time, and then Tumblr. I was in these groups. I was in my local group of transgender. It was like a local support group that I was in. So I've been around, this is a space that I've been in for a good portion of my life. But I just feel like my detransition and what brought me to detransition kind of got me looking at transgender like in a different light. Like I do think gender dysphoria is real, or maybe it's not gender dysphoria, maybe it's just like another form of body dysmorphia. But like I do think that there are people like me who do genuinely struggle with their bodies, and whether the root cause is due to trauma, abuse, or just simply like societal standards put on both men and women, and this idea and concept of gender, I think you get transgender. You get people like me who, struggle with that. But I don't know. I think my main issue is I think that I don't want to say that transgender isn't real. It's real. It's a thing, but I don't think that someone could be born in the wrong body. I don't think that gender is this innate thing in your brain. I think that the reason why we have transgender is because we live in such a gendered society. We have people that uphold masculine means male and femininity means female, and just history of like males dominating women and making women feel submissive and less than not even human. And like even though we're half of the population, and through objectification, sexual treating us as like sexual objects and not as people. And then you're raised in a society like that, then it's like, of course you want to be male, because male is the standard. Male is masculine, brave, and strong and stuff. And being a female brought up in that. And then also when you're a gender non-conforming female, as myself, and wanting to be just myself and wanting to be dressed the way I want and express myself in the way I want, and because it deviates from what the female standard is, then you start to realize in your head like, oh, maybe it would be easier if I could just pass as male, if I could just not hide, but like if I could just blend in the world as male, then nobody won't bother me, because being a straight male in society is like the most normal thing you can do. It's the most easy thing to do than to be a gender non-conforming woman who loves women, being a lesbian, or in my case a bisexual woman who is gender non-conforming, and that's how you have transgender. And then that's how what leads to dysphoria about your body, wanting to wish you didn't have any breasts, and so you can having a flat chest because breasts are overly sexualized for no fucking reason, and being able to just exist without people looking at your chest, and even when it comes to down below, bottom dysphoria, for me, based on my trauma and stuff, wishing that I didn't have a vagina, wishing that my worth wasn't, and being taken advantage of just because I had a vagina, you know what I mean? And I can't speak on what it's like for trans identified males, but I can imagine living in a society where male equals masculine and male has all these standards, and then a male who is I don't want to adhere to any of this, and then I think that's how you get trans identified males. But I can only really speak on being a trans identified female, because that's what I was. And I don't know, basically what I'm saying is, if we didn't have gender, and when I mean by gender, I'm not talking about sex. There are two sexes, female or male, based on chromosomes, gametes, all of that. But, or if you produce ova, you produce sperm, whichever one, male or female. But when it comes to gender, what we think of gender, masculine and femininity and all of that, I think that's bullshit. I think it's bullshit, and I don't think that that's innate to one sex. I don't think females are naturally feminine. I don't think males are naturally masculine. I think all that is bullshit, and we as a society should throw gender in the garbage. Just throw it in the garbage and not adhere to these things, and that's how you have a more free society, and you wouldn't have transgender in a society like that. But I want to abolish gender, and I just feel with the transgender movement, it's it's they're upholding gender stereotypes, because it's because you play with Barbies and you play with dresses and you like skirts and stuff, that means you're a female. And if you like to play football, you like to play basketball, you like to wear male clothes and all of that nature, and you love women, then that means you must be a straight male, and I don't, you're basically just upholding the same gender stereotypes that you claim to be running away from. But transgender upholds that, and that's how I feel. And I don't like this push that we have to transitioning. It's basically when I went into therapy for gender dysphoria, so I can get my T letter and all of that, it was basically me the entire time just telling her what I wanted, and not us discussing, well, why do you feel this way? Why do you want to cut off your titties? Why do you want to pass as male? Why do you feel the need that you have to walk into society as a male? And it's just so much of transgender. It's just telling the therapist what you want, instead of the doctors and therapists telling you okay, this is what I think should happen. This is, you know what I mean? And I don't like this push for transitioning. I don't like how easy it is to get on the hormones, which to this day, it's not all the way tested. There's so many risks, and I think heart health and blood pressure. I don't know much about the trans woman side of that, but testosterone that fucked up my uterus, honestly, to be honest with you. It's not good. We shouldn't be putting hormones, we shouldn't be doing things to a healthy body just because we feel discomfort, you know what I mean? And I know for me, that's hard to say, because even if you see my last video, like, I have chest dysphoria. Sometimes I feel like I want to cut my titties off and just throw them away and throw them into the river and watch them go and say bye. But like, but that's not normal. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what we should do. Like, obviously I have trauma that I need to address. I need to do this in a sane way. You know what I mean? But I don't believe that I don't believe kids should be given puberty blockers. But now I'm starting to think, like, that's an absolute no for me, for the record. Like, no kids on puberty blockers. But I guess now I'm starting to think, well, should adults transition? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I believe in, like, free will and letting people do what the fuck they want. But, like, I still would rather we lived in a society where, like, transition wasn't, like, the first option. You know, somebody realizes, like, they did all the therapy, they talked to the specialist, they did everything that they could do, and they're just like, fuck it, I want to cut my titties off. But I would rather them do that and be like, well, I'm a female, I can't stop being a female, but I just hate my breasts, than to say, like, oh, I'm a man, or I'm truly a man because I have discomfort with my body. And it's like, no, you're not. You're a woman. You're a dysphoric woman. You know? And I wish there was a better way to deal with dysphoria. Like, I truly do. Because as someone who experiences that, like, yeah, I'm detrans in a way. I stopped taking testosterone. But, like, I still deal with dysphoria. I still have this, like, need to want to pass in the world as male because it's been easier, and I don't want that pushback that I've gotten my whole entire life for being a gender non-conforming woman who loves women, you know. And it's hard, but that's how I feel, honestly, about transgender. I don't hate transgender individuals, you know what I mean? Like, I don't hate them individually. I just hate this kind of whole hush we can't talk about like the dangers of testosterone when it comes to the female bodies. We can't talk about, like, what elective surgery does to female bodies, what cutting your breasts off isn't just cutting your breasts out. Like, your breasts are an important part of your reproductive system, and your uterus too. And, like, I don't know, like, I just think there should be better ways, that's all. But I don't hate transgender people in general. Like, I don't. There are some trans identified males, but famous trans identified males that are famous, but, like, influencers or whatever the fuck, that I don't like. And I don't like how people come for people like J.K. Rowling and stuff, and when they're just trying to, and, like, this kind of, like, witch hunt, or, like, this kind of, like, I hate this bullying shit that transgender people do, you know. And I know it's not all of them. There are some transgender people, you know, that just want to figure shit out and live their own lives and don't participate in all this discourse and shit. But, like, I just hate this whole, like, if I'm right and you're wrong. We can't talk about anything. We can't acknowledge that there are only two sexes, and that you can't really be a woman and you can't really be a man, and that everyone knows what the fuck you are. We're just playing along, but it's getting hard to play along when you're bullying everyone about your ideology and shit. So, I don't know, I'm just frustrated at that, you know. Some people say that being transgender is a cult. Some people say it's this, that, and the third. But honestly, I just feel like, you know, we need to address people who have a genuine dysphoria, and address it in a healthier way than just say, oh, just get on hormones, just say you're a man, you're really a man, and this push for that. I just don't agree with that, you know what I mean? I just don't agree with that. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's all I wanted to say, you know. So in the future, hopefully I get my official like diagnosis with autism, because I didn't feel right self-diagnosing myself, even though I always had like kind of like a maybe, you know, but I didn't want to do that whole like I'm autistic without getting like an actual like second opinion, you know what I mean? And you know what's funny is in that evaluation she mentioned two things. She was like, yeah, you know, there's a big push on like a lot of kids and young adults self-diagnosing as autistic. And then she was like, when we talked about, you know, I mentioned that I was detrans and that I was trans before and I stopped taking testosterone. She was like, oh, that's I see a lot of trans patients. She's noticed like I forgot the word she used, but she was like, she noticed a pattern of trans identifying people and autism. So, you know, that was an interesting thing that she said. So I don't know. But yeah, sometimes, and I mentioned this, sometimes I think when I was going through transition and stuff, and like I used to like go, I went in, like I was so focused on this, like I would research about it, I would watch tons of videos. It was like every day it consumed me. So I'm starting to think, was transitioning like my did I have a hyperfixation on transitioning? Like, was that my little special interest, and that I just became so consumed by it that I was convinced that I mean, I don't know, nothing. She was just like, it's a possibility, but I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, I'm just in the video. I'll try to get another video. Hopefully this audio works out and I'm able to sync it together and do with things right, because I wanted to bring more, I wanted to be taken seriously with my YouTube videos, and I wanted to start with the audio and make sure that you guys can clearly hear me, and you know, there's not a lot of background noise. I don't know if I can take away all of the background noises because my room isn't like soundproof or whatever, but I just wanted to make everything better. And you know, because I definitely want to make my YouTube content more serious. So yeah, anyways, see you guys, peace, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.